Hello, listeners. I'm Mrs. Jones, your host for the Wahlberg Podcast, and I'm delighted that you have chosen to join me today. As you noticed in the Google form, you selected which grade level your student or students are in. Please be sure to click the Submit button so that we can better serve our community with future podcasts that are geared toward your students. Think of it as clicking the like button on other social media platforms. So let's jump in. So today I'm going to discuss a resource that a colleague shared with me, and it's called Read Not Guess. This site is designated to help your students in whatever area is most needed in their learning to read journey. So today I'm going to walk you through how to navigate and use this resource. In the link of all the podcasts, at the very bottom, you'll find this resource that will be a direct link for you to sign up for this free program, Read Not Guess. So let me just talk with you a bit of how you can get started with this. I myself have a student that is still learning to read, and so I want to make sure that I am supporting him at home so that he can be his best reader in the classroom. And these are very quick, short things that you can do at home that will have really big impact. So once you log into the website, Read Not Guess, at the top of it will have several things that you can select from home, free program, lessons, and then their contact information. So I would challenge you to click on free programs to begin with, and you're going to notice there are 3 different levels of challenges. And these are 30-day challenges that are set up to send emails to your email box, so you're not having to remember to go and click. And if you're like me, I check my email daily. I am one of those people who do not like a lot of emails in my mailbox. I feel completed and successful in my day if I have read them or at least acknowledged that they're there. So this is something that I look at daily. So the first level is to help your child master the fundamental skills that they need, which would cover basic letter sounds, blending, and rhyming words. And plus there's games or tips and early decodable stories that you can do with your students at home. And I'm going to walk you through one of these lessons in just a moment and just show you how easy it is and how little effort it takes to make this big impact. So that's level 1. Level 2 is also a 30-day challenge, and this is just taking your student to that next step. Review of short vowel sounds, introducing common digraphs like sh or ch, and work on constant blends with your student. And also there's games and tips and decodable stories in that as well. So you can sign up for that to come straight to your email. The final level is daily-ish decodables. And so this is going to help your child master phonics skills, focusing on 1 skill per day. These are short 10-minute lessons for busy families like ourselves, and lessons run mostly weekdays, and they're more intended for your 1st and 3rd graders so that they've mastered some of those fundamental skills that we talked about at level 1, which are the letter sounds, their blending, and their rhyming. And so again, this is for more 1st to 3rd graders, but it doesn't hurt if you've got a higher kindergartner that might want to start pushing that envelope a little bit in their skills. So let's jump into one of the lessons today. I don't intend this to be a very long podcast. I just want you to be familiar with what is available to you as parents and just give you some support in helping bridge the gap between what we're doing in the classroom and what we're doing at home. So in this lesson, there's various ones that you can choose from. So if we go back to the top of the page and we click on lessons, we will see that there are multiple lessons that are going to pop up. So all those emails that you sign up for, all of those lessons can be found under that lesson tab, okay? So when we're clicking on that, we can find all of those, and there's a search bar at the top that allows you to look for a specific one. They're themed for some of them. You'll notice as soon as you pull it up, St. Patrick's Day is at the very top, because while I am doing this, it is St. Patrick's Day was just recently. So it kind of gives you a theme if that's something that you like to keep up with. And you'll see your daily decodables that can be pulled. You are going to see other things that are loaded of previous lessons. So I'm just going to select a lesson here. I'm going to do the Pokemon Day, because if your child is like mine, you can never go wrong with any of the Pokemon. And when the Pokemon comes up, it's going to just give you kind of those step-by-step instructions. And I'll read the first part of this to you. The daily-ish decodable program uses a standard format to work through one sound per day. There are simple instructions for you, the parent or the caregiver. Any words in big, bold letters are meant for your child to read out loud. Today we're going to start by reviewing the words were and there. These words are partially decodable, but they do not follow the normal Magic E rule. You can review all prior lessons, and it has a click here button. And so then it would go into rhyme it. Parents, read the following words out loud. Then ask your child which one does not rhyme with others. And your bolded words are step, stare, and where. So you would say to your child, step, stare, and where. And you can, of course, show them if you're looking at this on your phone, on the tablet, on the computer, so they can see what those words look like. Which two of these words rhyme? Step, stare, and where. Great job. Stare and where rhyme. Okay, so then you'd move on to the next one. Say it. Have your child point and say the word where 3 times. It should rhyme with chair. So if your student is having a little trouble with pronouncing the where, that gives you a keyword to help them practice, because most all kids know how to say chair, right? So where. So they would repeat that 3 times. And then they're going to blend it. Have your child read these words out loud. Where is he? And there's a question mark. Where are you? Question mark. The is he and are you, at this point, if they're working on the word where, they are fully aware of those words, okay? And then it goes on, nowhere, anywhere, everywhere, somewhere. Where is he? Over there. There you are. So all of those things that I just said were in bold. So your student would read those. You can have them practice sounding them out if they're unsure. Tell them the word, have them repeat the word, and then continue on through the list, and maybe have them point to that word at the very end and say, can you say this one again? Just to give them some practice. Don't let it be a stressful thing. If they're not able to get it right away, just tell it to them and move on and say, we'll practice that again later. That's a great technique to use so that it's not stressful for you or your student. Make it a fun thing. And then it gives a great graphic of Pokemon. He's sitting here looking all cute with his little rosy cheeks, which kids will love. And so it's a read it now. Have your child read the passage below out loud. Again, this is the daily-ish, so this is going to be for our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade students. And so it gives a little story about Pokemon, and all of this is in bold, which is intended for your student to read. So it says it's Pokemon Day. Pokemon is about a young trainer, and then it continues on. I'm not going to read you the whole daily passage here, but it's not very long, just a paragraph. And at the very end of that, it says explain it, because as we know as parents, we want our students to be able to read the words, but we also want them to be able to understand what they're reading. So it says, has 2 questions that your student to see if they can answer it to make sure that they understood what they read. What day is it today? And so we're talking about Pokemon Day, right? And can you describe one of the characters in the story? So you're relating back to those foundational skills of really understanding what you're reading, which is the whole point of learning how to read. We want to know that we're gaining information from that. I truly enjoyed taking this time. I know it was just me today. I didn't get to introduce one of our teachers here, but look forward to that in future podcasts. I hope this resource is something that you feel like you can use and that will give you some options with your student if you're looking for something just a little bit more than what they're doing in their day-to-day work, or if they're needing some extra support at home. If there's any topics that you would like to hear talked about in our podcast that you would like to know more about in the educational world, or how we can bridge that gap between us and us parents and in the school, I would be more than happy to talk about that with whoever that might be. So please reach out to Stephanie C. Jones at davison.k12.nc.us, and I'll be happy to explore that. So for now, I would like to thank you for taking the time with me today, for bridging the gap between learning in the classroom and at home. And until next time, keep growing and exploring.